So we'll just get started right away for Pisces. What is it that Pisces need to know for love? March 1st through the 11th. Now, I feel like I want to start with couples, but I'm going to, before I do that, just talk about these cards generally because it wasn't decided yet if we would do couples or singles. This is the first one that jumped out, Six of Swords, and then also the Six of Wands jumped out. So some of you are thinking about moving in with somebody. Some of you are leaving a relationship, but either way, it's a victory. So however it pertains to you, it's actually a really good thing, whatever kind of move you're considering. I don't know if it's in regards to, it probably is in regards to your love relationships, just because, whatever move you're considering making, just because this is a love reading. But I wanted to say generally for Pisces, even if it isn't, it might not also be in relation to love, because these cards were super jumpy. They popped right out, just saying, hey, look, whatever move you're considering making, it's actually a really good thing for you. So it could be pertaining to your work. It could be anything. But whatever move you're thinking, you're considering in your mind, you're going to be happy that you did. So I just want to put that out there. Okay, so I'm sorry. I think, did we say we're starting with couples for Pisces? That's what feels right to me. And as I said that, one jumped up face down. By the way, I'm using the Gilded Tarot today. I just love this one because the images are so pretty. So that's what we're doing. So for Pisces that are coupled, what are the messages that you need to know? And this guy jumped right out, the Page of Pentacles, but he jumped out this way, probably crossing this one that was face down. So face down, what was it? The Star in reverse. So maybe you're not getting what you want right now for coupled Pisces. And a lot of it has to do with finances. So in your coupled relationships, like if things are not going as planned, it's just because maybe the other person is afraid that there's not enough money to do so. What else do we need to know for couples? Because that's kind of specific. I feel like for maybe for a very small amount of you, maybe like 30% or less even, I would say. I'd say between like 10 and 30. It's a very specific scenario that's going on. And I really feel like it's a Gemini that you'd be coupled with, or it pertains to a Gemini. Like a Gemini is the reason why this is blocked. So for whoever that pertains to, it pertains to. In a general reading, I try not to get into too many specific like things like that. But when the messages are coming through, they're coming through, and it's intended for somebody watching this. So for you, there that is. Okay. So generally for couples, what is it that Pisces people that are coupled need to know? This one jumped out right now, Two of Wands. But let's put that in context. What is it with the Two of Wands that you need to know? The Hanged Man. So a lot of indecision right now. You'll see with the Two of Wands, this guy, he's standing here and he's like, which way am I going to go? Am I going to go to the right? Am I going to go to the left? And then the Hanged Man is like, always the card of indecision. So this is like really, really you're having the hardest time making a decision. So I feel like it doesn't really indicate to me like whether it's a decision to stay in a relationship or to leave one. It's more like about circumstances, I feel like, in your life. You know, because you're in a relationship and it doesn't indicate that like anything's necessarily wrong with it, but you're having a hard time making decisions. And I don't know if that's as a couple. Why don't we find out? So what is the issue in making this decision that you're having, coupled Pisces? The World in reverse. And then we've got the Knight of Pentacles and then the Emperor in reverse. So I feel like a lot of it is just like a total lack of control and knowing what's going to happen next. There's a little bit of fear about money, but really a lot of it is like a lack of control. Like you're afraid of like things just being out of order and completely backwards and like who's in charge and all of that. So how do you make the best decision here? Because you're in a fork in the road. And this fork might be a different fork for all sorts of different people, couples. This one popped out here, the Queen of Swords. So being really, really honest with yourself, maybe talking to a friend who is this Queen of Swords kind of person. She's typically divorced, not always, but she's like been through the ringer. Like she knows everything, like been there, done that kind of person. She's not necessarily a bitch. She's not really cold, but sometimes people perceive her that way, especially if they don't know her. It's just that she's like kind of matter of fact. Like it is what it is. This is how it is. This is the truth. This is what you need to know. That sort of thing. Like she just tells it like it is. So if you have this person in your life, she's obviously very wise. Look, her forehead, like her third eye chakra is glowing. So she's actually like more feely and like spiritually wise than people see her as sometimes, specifically with this card, because she's been through all of the storm here in the back. Like she does have experience to go off of, but she's actually like wiser than that. Like she's just not building off of her own experiences that you might think are like biased. You're like, why would I trust her? Like things turn out that way for her, but maybe they won't for me. Well, that's very well true, but she's actually wise in other ways. So just know that. So how do you find her, like, if you don't know who she is, like, immediately by just me saying that, which most of you are going to immediately know who this person is. I feel like for a lot of people, she's a Libra in your life. But then this one pops out, the Queen of Cups. So if not, she's probably a water sign, or a water sign has introduced you to her. So, like, Cancer, what are other water signs? Scorpio, there's one more. I just can't. Oh, you. Duh. Anyway, so that's what's going on. And then how is your partner feeling about like all of this? Like, are you in this decision-making process alone? This guy jumped out. The moon, they're not really thinking about it as like as emotionally as you are. The moon in reverse. It's like, it's almost like they probably don't even want to think about it that much. They're definitely not considering the different aspects that you are, like the emotional and like I don't know how to describe it. I don't want to say like the spirituality of it, but like, you know, like, is this meant to be like fate, destiny sort of thing? Like they're not thinking about it that way. But how are they thinking about it? Well, they're actually just not. They're just not. It's not like they want to really put it to the side or anything. Like it's just kind of like they're not really being honest with what all of that means. So 2 swords jump out. Or, yeah, swords, actually. That's funny I said that. I guess swords is what I'm supposed to be telling you because there are so many swords here. It's probably my spirit guides and angels' way of reminding me to let you know. But 2 cards jumped out. And when I first looked down, I only saw this one. This one was hiding behind it, and I saw that when I picked it up. So the 8 of Swords, it's just like reaffirming, like, look, they're deciding that they don't want to see the truth around them, that they don't want to look at what's going on necessarily. Like, she's shackled here. I don't know if you can see that very well. And she's blindfolded. But, like, it's so easy to get out of that and take off the blindfold. He or she just doesn't want to deal with it. But actually what should be, I think they just want to move forward. They just want to go. It's that card of movement again. And remember earlier when I said generally for Pisces, this would be the message. I would say whatever it is they want to do, they're like, you know what, this is what we're doing, we're moving. Go ahead and appease them probably, unless it's completely irrational and like they're really, really not seeing what's going on here. I think they've just overthought it. They've been thinking about it longer than you have. It's a newer concept. They're ready to just move forward. Trust them on that because it's probably a good thing. If you need further clarity on that, if you don't feel like it exactly pertains to your situation, maybe do a personal reading and I can help you out. So we're going to now do Pisces singles and see what you guys have from March 1st through the 11th in regards to love. What are the messages for Pisces singles? Okay. So Pisces singles. What are the messages for Pisces singles? Okay. This one's sitting out right here. We've got the Empress in reverse. And we've got the Page of Swords, 3 of Cups in reverse, the Death card in reverse, the Hermit card in reverse, and then the World in reverse. So one thing I wanted to point out, right as I was shuffling these before I pulled a card, I couldn't decide. I was like divinely, like the way that I read cards is through intuition. So sometimes I get like weird feelings. And then anyway, I was thinking about the color green, but then I was like, wait, is it blue? And then I was like, this is totally unclear. I'm going to pull the cards and deal with that later if it comes back up. Here's that green blue right in the middle. So if you have an outfit that's this color, that's the color to be wearing for whatever event that you're like, what do I wear? That's the one. This is like a message for one specific person or something, but this color is important for you somehow. Maybe it's a car you were going to buy, one or the other, making a choice. This is the color to go with if it's a color, if it's an option. Just throwing that out there. Okay, so the Empress in reverse, you know, and this is funny because with the couples section, we were talking about like maybe letting the other person kind of take the reins. You're kind of like that right now as a single. You're kind of just like, wait and see what happens. Like things are not really in my control right now. I'm just waiting for messages to come in. So maybe you put it out there like, hey, I like you. And you're waiting for a person to respond or show interest in you or something like that. And it's kind of making you really sad right now. You're sad that situations in your life, like just being single generally, aren't changing. But you know, like you're not really going in and thinking about why that is. Like you're not really seeing things. You're more just like, it's not like you're wallowing in sadness. You're like a little apathetic and you're just kind of like, but you're unhappy and you're not really doing anything to change it. So how is it then, for those of you who are unhappy right now as a single, like that you find happiness in where you are, like in having to wait for this or that? Like how do you change this? How do you speed up the process? So for Pisces, March 1st through the 11th singles, how do they speed that up and fix it? What's their advice? Got this guy here. The Ace of Cups in reverse, the Eight of Wands in reverse, the Six of Wands upright, the Knight of Swords in reverse, the Five of Pentacles upright, and this was the last one, the Moon in reverse. So for those of you who are like feeling extra sad, because I said some of you aren't, but for those of you who are, just know nothing is going to start moving forward like real quick like that while you sit in that sort of state. But, you know, like if you are like really, really feeling like sad because you're waiting for something, it's going to take longer than you want. But eventually it sounds like it will come. It might not come in the way that you want it to come. It might come in a different sort of manner. So like if you're waiting for maybe somebody to say like, hey, let's get married, it might be like, hey, let's move in together, you know, something like that. Bad example, I guess, if you're not coupled, but you know, you might get what you want. You might have to wait longer than you want. It won't be as quick as you want. But eventually you'll get generally what you want, but maybe not in the way that you wanted it. So maybe you're waiting for a specific person to come to you and be like, hey, let's be a thing. Let's be a couple. But then like actually somebody better comes along. It's like, hey, let's be a thing. Let's be a couple. And then you're going to be happy in retrospect that happened. And then, but like changes that are happening in your life right now in regards to love are like taking longer, you know, just like generally things are taking longer. Communication is taking longer. Messages are taking longer. Like if you're texting somebody, like it takes them longer to get back to you than you want, things like that. So like you should probably be spending less time worrying and more time doing things like self-reflection, as I mentioned before, but then also just like talking to friends. Like some of you are like shutting other people out. Like you kind of feel like, oh, they're sick of hearing my bullshit. It's the same over and over, but that's what your friends are for. They're there to support you. Like they love you, you know? You're just like, a lot of you are just not real in touch with your spirituality. So I would not be surprised to see that maybe Pisces has the smallest amount of viewers for love readings this month when I go back and look at it next month. A lot of you are just kind of like shutting down, shutting out, and just sitting and waiting and seeing. So I would say, however you get in touch spiritually, whether it's getting a tarot card reading, doing yoga, doing like meditation, chakra clearings, Reiki, whatever it is, maybe do that and you're going to feel a little bit better and a little bit more at peace with waiting. And then by feeling at peace with having to wait, things should come a little bit quicker because of law of attraction.